Mia, they are
Making
putting the
banana
oven
bread.
on so that
Hi, is it
the
Jyoti?
cake can be baked properly.
Yeah,
And Miss Hashi is making rotis, and we will have our dinner here. Miss Hashi, say hello. Say hello.
हेलो
हाँ बांग्ला में बोलो.
क्या बोलेगी
बांग्ला में बोलो. कैसे बोलती है hello?
हेलो गाइस
Hello guys. Yes. Good. Good. We have a very modern. We have a very modern. Hello. Hi Aslan. Hi Aslan. See, I'm making your video. Aslan, your mom is baking a cake today. And so, while you are sitting here and enjoying the car, the small car, and let's take the picture also of this car. Miss Mia is the main cook. And we have some assistance to be provided to her by Mr. Munawwar.
Alright, so
Yes.
so today we're gonna make a classic banana bread recipe. However, we're not gonna put chocolate in this one because we have chocolate sensitivities in this household. However, we're gonna follow the rest of the recipe to the T. Now, for that, I'm not well equipped because my mother has told me that she doesn't have measuring cups. So everything is gonna go on, estimated amount. I think it's right, so don't judge me. However, we're gonna attempt, and I'm sure it's gonna turn out fantastic because this is not my first time baking. Alright, let's start. So, we're gonna start off with some butter, and I think we have numbers written in Arabic. Now, I don't speak Arabic, I wish I did, but I think this says 1/4, 1/4. And the recipe asks us to use half cup of unsalted butter at room temperature.
While the main cook is making cake, but she also has to take care of her child. And her grandma is taking care of the child. And Aslan is just 7 months old, and the grandma is trying to play.
Are you playing with balloon?
That is right. So there's already a cake in the house, and I hope the cook does not use this and say this is made by her.
Alright.
Now this is Lupak butter unsalted. And then we have, what other ingredients are there? What we have is all-purpose flour, and we have the baking powder, and here we have the vanilla flavor. We have a pure baking soda. While in the kitchen the cake is being made on one side, there is roti being made on the other. Paratha for our dinner. And this is, we'll have hot cake just out of the oven. Chalo.
So often we keep our butter in the fridge, and usually for really good baking, you are required to keep butter at room temperature. I have made the mistake of putting the butter in the microwave and heating it that way, but then you just end up melting it too much and it becomes liquidy. So you definitely don't want to do that, because then you're not able to mix butter with sugar and it doesn't become nice and aerated. My biggest hack is just try to cut the butter in as small pieces as possible, and the warmth from your hands and from this process will melt the butter, or actually soften the butter. This is not as good as room temperature, obviously. However, this is better to mix with sugar rather than putting it in the microwave. So definitely you'll notice the difference if you put the butter and melt the butter using microwave versus doing it with your hands. Definitely gets messy, so don't be afraid to make a little bit of a mess in your kitchen.
So dirty your hands.
Or if you know you're going to make cake, take out the butter an hour prior from the fridge and just leave it on your counter for an hour.
So Hashi is the person who knows where everything is. So she's just showing where is the sugar. Okay, got it.
And I have no idea how I will measure 3/4 a cup. Now this is definitely a lot larger than the actual 1 cup measurement. So we're going to try our best and we're going to just measure with our heart and make sure everything is proportionate to the best of our abilities. I also know I'm using extremely ripe bananas. They're at a point where they should honestly be tossed out of the kitchen, so I know they're going to be extra sweet. So I'm going to make sure I tone my sugar down a little bit. Otherwise it's just going to turn out to be too sweet. And I don't like too sweet. I know that sounds pretty ironic that I'm baking right now, but yeah, don't do that.
So this is our cook or the cake maker who doesn't know how to put and how to mix sugar in the cake. She spills. So this is desi style of putting the sugar. No measurement, just by andaz.
I was by my parents.
So now the butter and the sugar has been mixed into one. So you cannot see the sugar. So we just saw the butter flying out of this container. So this is mixing the butter with the sugar.
Yeah, and we should ideally be creaming it for 3 minutes until it's white and the texture is extremely creamy. We're basically giving it lots and lots of air.
So this is exactly like when I make my coffee. I have to put an air in my milk with the steam, so that the air bubbles are micro bubbles, and that is what gives the texture to the coffee. Now this is the texture to the cake. Now I have to see how the paratha is being made. और हाशी अभी तुमने क्या बताया? क्या डालना है उसमें?
अंडा.
So Hashi says that egg has to be put in, mixed. We are getting some expert advice, and let me see how the grandmom is doing with the son. Wow. So this is happening in the living room just next to the kitchen.
Yes.
So the mother is baking the cake. The grandma is playing with Aslan. And the paratha is being made for the dinner.
To add our eggs, this recipe requires for 2 large eggs. Now we want to beat it one by one.
So what happens by beating one by one? Why not both the eggs at the same time?
It just makes it much better.
Cake is being made. My snacks is just getting over. So now the butter, sugar and the egg combo is here, and it becomes very viscous, while earlier it was pretty hard. But butter also, because of the churning, it has melted. So that could give this more a liquid form.
Butter than sugar, because you can see the small dot things. That just means there's more butter in our batter. So
So now it's time to mix the flour, all-purpose flour with this batter. So let's see. And just for the sake of correctness, we have added 3 eggs, not 2. Now this is almost a cup full of all-purpose flour being added to that batter.
Hold on, we're gonna retrack our steps.
So now this is mixing soda with the all-purpose flour, and the amount of soda is very small. It's just half teaspoon,
1 teaspoon.
or roughly 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon salt.
And then the salt has to be added to it.
That's a lot of salt.
The salt is there. We have just been shown that the salt is here. So Hashi knows what thing is where in this kitchen. And while Mia is baking a cake, I am having my snacks, and I just had
So that's a
Aussie's butter biscuit.
The recipe recommends to put 1 teaspoon of salt, but I feel like that's a lot because the purpose of salt is just to enhance the little bit of flavor. Usually put in things that has because
Okay.
अच्छा बस 1 सेकंड बस हो गया यहाँ का
हम हटा देते हैं.
ठीक है cinnamon चाहिए half
Man has been given this helmet kind of thing so as to protect his hair. It's a cushiony thing so that when he bounces his head on the on the floor, it doesn't hurt him. So hi Aslan, how are you? Are you doing well? Are you doing? Yeah, he's talking. He's talking. He's showing. He's got the ball, the rubber ball in his hand. See you.
of all the dry ingredients. I have put it in a bowl. So this is all-purpose flour, some salt, some ground cinnamon because cinnamon pairs really well with banana and chocolate. And then this is something new here. So instead of vanilla essence, people use powdered vanilla. This is a substitute. It's my first time baking with a powdered vanilla, so I'm excited to see what that tastes like. So I can definitely smell the vanilla in here. And if I'm not forgetting anything, baking soda. So we have all our dry ingredients, and you want to make sure that you mix all the dry ingredients thoroughly in a bowl separately before you mix it with the wet ingredients. And now that I have done this, it's time to put it all together.
So now banana is being added, 2 bananas of this size, it's a fairly large size. So that will be added to the batter. So the banana has to be mashed before putting it directly. And what is the purpose of mashing this?
You don't want to mix the batter or aerate the batter at this point when you have your flour and all the ingredients are mixed. So you just want to mix it just enough that everything is well combined at this stage, because we're no longer in the creaming stage. So we're just going to mash the bananas. They come together, they get mashed super easy, especially how ripe our bananas were. It's pretty easy to mash them like this, and then we'll combine it in our batter.
So now the mashed banana has been mixed to the broth, not the broth. Yep. Darling, where are you? Huh? Okay. My dear darling, should I put you back on the mat, on the rug, or you want to play with the tile? This is his favorite pastime. Leftovers And this is vanilla essence. Vanilla essence has just been mixed. So this is the final batter which is being mixed. So this is being tasted by the master baker.
Master baker. Huge chef has not been very helpful.
And what is this? Sugar?
Sugar.
So a little more sugar is being added. Despite 2 bananas. While the cake is being made, Hashi is doing this. I think this is good enough. This is food for Azlan, which is pear and kya dali Hashi? Pear and
Blueberry.
blueberry. Blueberry.
Ah.
So this is mixed of pear and blueberry. So that will be the food for Mr. Azlan.
मुझे लगा कि आपने मेरी आवाज़ बोला। इसी पर आवाज़ बोली। ओह अज़लान मुझे लगा मीठा बोल रहा है। Alright, the final touches have been made. I'm just gonna mix it once more.
So this is the final mixing of the batter, and then this will be put in the oven for baking. So the temperature in the oven will be mild.
No, it's 350, so that's pretty high.
Okay, so 350. So the oven is already being heated. It has been switched on so that the temperature, so the cake can be baked fairly quickly.
हाशी, जब ये वाला पेपर यूज़ करते हैं तो
So this is a paper, and then olive oil is being sprinkled on it so that the cake does not stick to the paper.
I don't mind the hands. Ideally, I would use a brush, but this is also a desi household, and just family is eating it, so I'm sure they don't mind me using my hands that I have just used to take out the snot of my son.
So this cake will have some smell of the snot and the taste of the snot. So the batter look there is in large quantity when it is in this particular steel vessel, but here in the baking vessel it doesn't look that big. Whatever has happened.
I would like to say my sous chef has just eaten snacks this entire time.
And seen your baby as well.
Yes, that's true.
Have taken care of your baby.
Alright. Now we'll just...
Now in Desi style you can put the balance of this batter in the cake box with your hands. So this is the Desi cake. And it will go into the oven for how long?
40 minutes for sure.
For about 40 minutes. And so this is approximately, what's the time? The time is 19:25, and therefore by 8:30 we can have the cake.
Oh my God, Papa, ye mat dikhai.
Meanwhile, we'll go for a walk, we'll have our food, dinner, and then come back and eat the cake.
Alright.
While the cake is being prepared, our dinner is also being served. So we will have dinner, and we will first give food to Mr. Aslan. So for Master Aslan, the food is ready, and I'll put a chair here so that Master Aslan can have his food. So a lot of things being done simultaneously. This is the cake going into the oven. क्या चीज़ किशमिश हाँ yes see. So we have also another chef from Bangladesh who is asking to put kishmish, raisins in this to make it good. So we have, and the kitchen utensils are also ready to be washed. Bangladesh has decorated the cake with two kinds of resins. The black one is from Uzbekistan and this brown is one from Afghanistan. So it adds flavor to this. Now this is being put inside the oven. Now there's another good suggestion coming is to use the yes. So now this is going into the hot oven for about 40 minutes. Alright. Aslan will have his food. So he's got his chair fixed and the baker is now putting the rubber napkin onto Aslan's neck so that all the food that spills out will be retained by this and he doesn't spoil everything with his food. While Aslan is looking for his food, the food for us is being put here on the table. And here Aslan is here and his mom, the baker is and the grandma is looking here. Yes, he has to be given toy. The grandma is at a distance because she's got cold and she doesn't want her grandson to catch cold. Aslan, tick, tick, tick. Aslan, tick, tick.
Exercise. I think I have to lose some weight because of the way he's just playing with the toys and throwing.
Now I'm going to see the finished product and this is how it looks. So it looks great, resin, and I think we will definitely try it right now. So the main chef for this is Miss Miha Alam and Miss Hashi has also given advice for this.